What's going on, guys, and welcome back to the film room. Today's just going to be a quick little video in light of the recent reports from this morning where Cowboys players were allegedly trashing the coaching staff, saying they weren't prepared, couldn't teach, and just flat out couldn't do their jobs. I'm going to guess this came from a lot of defensive players, if not all defensive players, or the few that said this. And certainly when you're letting up the fifth most points through 6 weeks in NFL history, there has to be some fingers pointed at the defensive coordinator, scheme, say what you want about that. Obviously, we have scheme issues. But for the players to just push all the blame on that, not take any accountability on their end, is a little upsetting because when you go and you rewatch these games, it's not hard to find lack of effort, lack of execution, to where there's nothing wrong with this scheme at this point. It comes down to the players not executing and not giving their all in these situations. Starting with this play here. DeAndre Hopkins catches a little drag over the middle, came over. Good. It was good mesh by the Cardinals, so you can't really get on Trayvon Diggs too much for giving this up. They were in a man look. You're not going to stop that often. But you can stop it if Jalen Smith maybe doesn't jog his way up the field. It looks like he's hurt. I don't understand how he can be. He literally gets cut out of the frame at the end. I don't know how he can be okay with putting that kind of effort on film. We've seen it before. Those Odell end arounds. Jalen was off in the back jogging around. And luckily, guys like Donovan Wilson, who may not be the most talented but actually give effort, end up saving touchdowns here while Jalen's way off in the back. Just kind of skip it. I don't even know what you want to call that. I wouldn't even call that jogging. Hopping over into this next play here. This is going to be a mix of poor effort and poor execution. It wouldn't surprise me if one of the guys that called out the coaching staff was number 98, Tyrone Crawford right here. Tyrone has struggled extremely. Blame it on scheme if you want, but when you put up this kind of effort, it doesn't matter what scheme you're in. He's getting blown off the ball and pushed to the other side of the line on this play. I'm going to let it play out. His back's turned to the lineman, getting blown off the ball. That's his gap responsibility right there, and Kenyon Drake could drive a semi-truck through it. I thought Alden, at least on this play, did a good job. When you have a QB like Kyler Murray, you got to be able to contain the edge and be responsible for him there, so you can't get on him too much for not making this play. Kenyon. Jalen, you got to be responsible for filling this gap. I don't know what this little side shuffle is here instead of attacking downhill. And then finally, I don't know what that is, just underestimating Kenyon Drake's speed, I guess. Missed tackle. Luckily, Trayvon gets there finally while Jalen's just kind of skipping around behind Kenyon Drake. Getting into this next one, talking about another one of our down linemen, this time one tech, Dontari Poe, who has been underwhelming to say the least. I feel like he's accepted the mentality that I'm just going to engage blocks, take up space, and he doesn't really try to make plays, disengage from blocks, get around blocks, go through blocks. He will just engage, extend his arms, and just kind of chop his feet, sit there. And this was the first one I found. I didn't really look too deep for this because you don't have to look too deep for this, unfortunately. And just watch, just engage, just kind of sitting stagnant. You come back to this angle. Engage, stagnant. Oh, I got off it. Okay, I'm just going to kind of, okay, play's over. I think what aggravates me more than anything, too, is that Dontari Poe is this seasoned veteran, and this is the kind of effort that is showing up in his film. While you have guys like, Justin Hamilton, I couldn't even think of his name for a second, coming off the practice squad. I literally had to look up who the hell is 79 on the field for the Dallas Cowboys when I saw him come in, and he made some plays. This is the effort you get out of a guy on a practice squad, and you have seasoned veterans like Jalen Smith. Dontari Poe thankfully wasn't on the field for this play because I'm sure you would have just seen him engage and stand still. You have guys putting an effort like that, but you pull up a kid from the practice squad, and this is the effort you get. Throwing off blockers, going in, make plays. Hop to the next play. Here he is again. Engaging, physical, nasty. There's just no nastiness with it. Throwing off blockers, getting to the ball carrier. Eyes in the backfield, not just stagnant and engaging blocks for the hell of it. This play again. throwing a blocker aside, getting in the backfield, tackle for a loss, man. That's the tenacity we need on this defensive line. And you have seasoned veterans like Tyrone Crawford, Dontari Poe just getting pushed down the line. You throw in a kid from the practice squad, and he's making plays like that, and you're going to sit here and tell me that it's scheme is our problem? I just don't buy it. I do think our scheme isn't great, but when you see effort like that on film, you can't put it all on scheme. So I've been talking a lot about effort. I also want to mention execution. I do think that we, at least at first, and it showed early on when we were getting some early 3-and-outs, that we seemed well prepared for this game. And that was another thing that was said in the reports this morning, that we don't seem very, the coaches aren't well prepared, have no idea what they're doing. And clearly, right here, we were prepared for this play. We were prepared for this look. Christian Kirk's going to motion over. And at first, I think we are going to be in a too high man look, manned up here, manned up here, manned up here, manned up here, manned up here. And then we have two high roaming safeties. Now, when Christian Kirk motions over, this is something we are clearly prepared for, because you have Leighton Vander Esch signaling to the sky, which means we are now adjusting to a cover 3 look. So we're going to have cover 3 deep here, cover 3 deep here, cover 3 deep here, underneath here, and then roaming inside here. However, for some reason, this does not click with Daryl Worley. Although he has Leighton Vander Esch signal to the sky, Jordan Lewis signal to the sky, and say, hey, get your ass back there to cover the deep ball. But Daryl Worley says, I'm going to sit right here. You have him, who's supposed to be responsible for the deep third, and then you have Jordan Lewis, who's supposed to be responsible underneath here, and they're within 3 yards of each other. Daryl Worley, for whatever reason, Christian Kirk doesn't even give him a double move, but he bites underneath anyways. Long gone. And it's funny because you know Christian Kirk is one of these guys that's pretty much only going to beat you on screens and over the top, little quick out routes maybe. And he just lets him have this deep ball for a touchdown. Clear execution errors here too. Scheme was fine. We were prepared for it. Execution wasn't there. So I've been harping on the defense a lot about poor effort and poor execution, but it happens on the offense too. And this is when the game is 0-0. We have a chance to get into enemy territory. We're on the 50 right now, and go down, get some points, get an early lead in this game. The defense has been playing well up to this point, and this is the type of effort and execution we get in a tie ball game. Budda Baker is going to come off the edge here on a little safety blitz. Brandon Knight's going to pick him up, and just watch Brandon Knight this whole way. Sit there, sit there, sit there. You have a guy that is easily 100 pounds smaller than you, and he is standing on his tippy toes, and you don't put him in the... Look at that. Right there, any good tackle right there would put Budda Baker's butt in the dirt. But instead, he's sitting there stagnant. Dalton kind of gets under pressure. Zeke, why did Zeke get knocked over? I don't know why Zeke got... Oh, he picked up good... all right, bit to pick up. Gets up. Good awareness from Zeke. Catches it. But Brandon Knight, instead of having Budda Baker's butt in the dirt, allows him to spring free. I don't really put that fumble on Zeke too much. Obviously, poor execution all around in the play. That's just kind of a bang-bang play. But that's a play that wouldn't have happened if Brandon Knight was not lazy and did his job. Instead... Zeke's going to come underneath. That would have been a nice gain, too. That would have been a real nice gain. He would have easily gotten like 10, 15 yards out of that. But instead, Brandon Knight said, go ahead, Budda Baker, force the fumble. I appreciate you guys stopping by and staying until the end. If you enjoyed the video, feel free to like and subscribe. And comment below what you think the biggest issue with this Dallas defense is. Also, feel free to check out our website at cowboysfilmroom.com. Post weekly articles on there taking a look back and a look forward at all Cowboys games throughout the season. Lastly, feel free to give us a follow on Instagram and Twitter at Cowboys Film Room. Post anything on there, Cowboys highlights, Cowboys news, game film analysis, really just anything talking Cowboys football, and it's a good way to stay up to date with the channel. Once again, thank you all for stopping by, and I'll see you guys in the next video.